Lakeside Alliance will be shining a light on businesses in the South Shore community. And today we are with M&R Prescription Center's Malik and Pamela Jones. First of all, thank you. Thank you for meeting with us. And one of the things that we want to talk about is who are you? And then also with everything going on with COVID, the recent uprisings, I want to know, get your perspective on it as well. But Malik, Ms. Jones, please.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. I guess I'll start. I'm Malik Jones, and the name of the store is really M&R Prescription Center from Malik and Rashard. So myself and my sister. My sister's name is Rashard, Jordan Rashard. So my mother bought it, she changed to that. Previous to that, it was called the Prescription Center. And it was here, she just started in 1980, so we've been here 40 years, 40 plus years. In 1980, she purchased it from the gentleman. And we lived right on maybe 67th and Transit area, 16th and Jefferson. We've been in the community for years. My mother bought it. I grew up in this pharmacy, running up and down the streets in the South Shore, and Woolworths was across the street. Oh, wow. Right. Walgreens on the other corner, South Shore Bank was over there. That was a little different. Hamilton Theater, things like that, picture, all this stuff. And she took over. Not here, but right across the street. Yeah. There was a movie theater across the street next to the bank. There was one further down. So basically two movie theaters here, right on the same block. Right, the 2 people block buildings. And since then, she was here as a single parent, raised 2 kids, south side of Chicago, pillar of the community. We went to church right down the street at St. Clair for a while. And at a certain point, she was ready to retire, being close to retirement. And luckily, I met my lovely wife, who became a pharmacist. She was a pharmacist when I met her, but she became a pharmacist, and she worked in the community as well, more south. I would tell the story. And she sold it to us, and we've been here.
She sold it to us in 2017. Okay. So after 37 years of working in the business, building the business, we bought it in June of 2017. So we're just celebrating our 3-year anniversary.
And she worked a little bit before then, kind of helping out while we were working other places, just to kind of get a feel for it. But,
she actually gave me my first job in the field of pharmacy. So I had been, I knew I was going to go into pharmacy. And so either pharmacy or technical management. And just so happened, I just went to pharmacy school, met Malik, and she actually gave me my first job working in a pharmacy, which then even allowed me to get another job in the VA, which gave some tuition reimbursement. So it was a legacy starting even before we realized it.
Right. And so, I don't think you said your mother's name.
Oh, Leola.
Leola
Jones. I probably
Founder.
Yes, founder. And she's from Tallulah, Louisiana. So she's been up here probably most of her life. She was born there. And so we have some connections down in Tallulah, Louisiana, and parts of Chicago.
And she was a pharmacist as well?
Yeah. Oh, my mother? Yeah. Okay. So my mother's a pharmacist. So she went to the University of Chicago, pharmacy school. As she thinks she worked like Osco, a couple of places back then. And then she was working at a clinic on 111th in Michigan, State, a little private clinic. And she was a pharmacist there. And eventually she was able to buy her own place and she bought this place here.
Okay, 2-fold question. So, if can you describe what it was like, your standing in the community as a Black-owned pharmacist then and now?
Oh, good question. Well, back then, as a Black-owned pharmacist, there was more of them, independent pharmacists, right? Pharmacies. So I used to work across the street as a kid at another pharmacy. I forgot his name. He had his own pharmacy as well. I was a stock boy. So there was a lot of them as well in the community. I don't think it's as many of them as independent pharmacies as it used to be. They're more in the Walgreens, CVS's, and the hospitals and things like that. So I think it was different then. Now it's seems more corporate, would you say, more industry.
Yeah, so my first experience in pharmacy was in 1992 when she gave me my job as a pharmacy clerk. And I remember walking in and there was like a whole picture, a wall full of pictures of different people who lived in the community. They brought their kids here. And it was just listening to her stories, very tight-knit. But what I've seen and noticed is that a lot of people that used to be in the community have moved away from the community. I'm not exactly sure when Walgreens came. Do you
They
remember?
were here, but they were on the other side of the street. They jumped from one side to the other side of the street. But they were always here.
So when Walgreens came on board, she did lose a lot of her prescription business, which is when she got creative. Initially, she started doing IV, home infusions. And then as more hospitals decided, hey, this is profitable, we're going to do this ourselves, then the next step was to do medical equipment. And so that has actually been the mainstay and helped to keep the business here because it's very competitive. One thing that I've noticed even in the last year is that Walgreens, they closed 200 of their stores across the United States. And when asked, it was because of increased costs and decreased reimbursements. So if you have a powerhouse like Walgreens that are complaining about increased costs, decreased reimbursements, when they have their volume discounts, you know how it must feel for an independent. So, yeah. So it's just one thing that I've noticed. There are still some people that live in the community that have been here for 30 years that came in as little kids and said, I came here with my mom and I'm surprised you're still here. Where's that other lady? So there are still a lot of people here, but we have noticed that there has been a lot of mobility. Even certain people, like when they get insurance, sometimes they have to go to CVS. They have to use a mail order, so those are real deals. And the other real deal is that there is still redlining in the area. So our pharmacy has been pretty much confined to dealing with Medicare and Medicaid population when it comes to medical equipment. As far as the pharmacy is concerned, with the exception of people who use mail order pharmacies, I can pretty much handle anybody that Walgreens can handle. Like I said, with the exception of mail order. But when I've tried to enter some of the networks, like for PPO or HMO, the insurance companies will be quick to say, we have enough suppliers in your network. So we have a lot of people that are employed in the area that come in with their employer-based insurance. And then they'll, come in for a wheelchair, only for me to tell them that, hey, I'm not in your network. And so some people will get upset, turn that card over, call the customer service.
I'm actually getting
number.
upset because I'm curious about the redlining you mentioned, and also being out of the network.
It's a real issue that affects even how we're doing business today, because when they call to see, okay, give the zip code 60649, they're told that the closest supplier is 3,000 north, 120 south. There's no one in the neighborhood. So that it makes it very hard for that diversification, which all these businesses need to grow and thrive and survive. Because we know just by history that sometimes the state will fall behind. There are times even when my mother-in-law, Malik Jones, had to take out loans because the state was 6 to 9 months behind in paying. But yet she still had some other businesses. And now redlining is real and it's a concern. As we still try to grow the business and think of other ways to make things profitable. So just to throw this question out there, is there like a network you can call to get on that list of providers? And I feel like it's a dumb question because I kind of know the answer to it, but is there someone you can call to get on that list or make the medical industry aware that you're here? You know what? I don't know. So it's something that I've even tried to. We got a connection through the mayor's office. The new commissioner, Maurice Cox, came out after the destruction, and I asked for his business card because that was a real conversation I wanted to have with him as you're trying to attract businesses to the area. And I left him a message, haven't talked to him yet, but I have not found that one person yet that I can talk to about this real issue. When it came to the pharmacy, I was able to join a group with Cardinal Health, my big supplier. And that seemed to alleviate a lot of the difficulties of getting in some of the pharmacy benefit networks. But I wonder if I have to do the same thing now for medical equipment. But then that kind of opens you up to possibly franchising part of your business that you would not normally franchise out. So that's a good question. Still looking for the answer to be determined. Who do I really need to talk to? Maybe the next news appearance, I'll be like, redlining.
Please do. It was funny, like if I Google pharmacies in the area, like down at the bottom. You're still on the first page, but still at the bottom. Because the first thing they say is Walgreens,
Right.
obviously. But then they'll say CVS,
Right.
all the way in Hyde Park.
Right.
But you're right.
Right. And it is doing more advertising. I know I need to do more advertising. And when I came in, I said, I want to take it slow because I've been a pharmacist since 1996, but I used to work in a hospital setting, the clinic setting. And retail is a lot of it different. Having to deal with the clinical as well as the administrative and just the business aspect. It's different. So I wanted to take things slow, but now that I've gotten my feet wet, it's like, well, maybe we can do that advertising. We do need to have that social footprint, that geotagging, a lot of things that are even new to me, but just trying to increase our footprint in the area and let people know that we are still here.
No, your footprint is strong. And actually, talking about still here, being an independent pharmacist, how has COVID affected business? And then we can actually segue into also the business.
So COVID has definitely slowed our business, especially because we do more medical equipment even than pharmacy. So when the doctor's offices shut down, then the prescriptions for medical equipment slowed down too. And then there was a lot of fear in the community about going to the doctor, where we were still trying to tell people, hey, if you have diabetes, you still need to talk to your doctor, get on the phone. Because initially, the doctor's offices didn't know how to handle it either. It took them a while to build up that virtual appointment system, telemedicine. There are a lot of rules that they had to get cleared even before doing certain things. But then patients seemed to shut down. Chronic medical conditions they were still there, but yet people were not getting that follow-up that they needed to receive. Because I'm not going anywhere near the hospital COVID, which is a definite concern. Right. But at the same time, hey, you're having headaches, you're having shortness of breath, you need to go to the hospital. So things slowed down. They're starting to pick back up a little bit, especially with the virtual telemedicine. But we definitely noticed a decrease in the volume.
Okay. And
the other thing, product allocation. So supplies that we would normally get, somehow all of a sudden we weren't able to get. They were being diverted to hospitals, gloves especially, masks especially. And so in the very beginning, it's like, hey, we're healthcare providers too. We need PPE too, just for ourselves. I had a box of masks here that I would hand to people if they came in coughing. And I only had like 3 masks left. I'm like, I need some masks. So that was something that it was a real concern because the hospitals, the people who were in the hospitals are coming here, but yet we didn't have the equipment or the supplies that we needed to have that continuity of care. And that was my first cry on CBS News when I ordered insulin in pre-filled syringes, and I ordered a box of pen needles to go with it, and the supplier didn't send me the needles. They said it was on product allocation. So I hit the roof. And so that's where you see that the balance is not necessarily balanced when it comes to getting supplies that you need for your community in order for them to live healthy lives.
You want to add anything?
No, not to that. I'll wait till we go to the.
So that's COVID.
But even just adding this to COVID, by you being a pharmacist, are you able to give out COVID tests?
I can. I did order some antibody tests, but and they're EUA, so emergency use authorized, not approved. And a lot of the tests that are being used fall into that category from the FDA, but there's still a lot of uncertainty. There still are a high degree of false positives where you could actually show in the test that you have antibodies, but then the person may not necessarily have antibodies. And they may start doing things that are not safe. So I've had,
Like what?
so
Not wearing a mask.
not wearing a
Thinking
mask.
I've been exposed to have antibodies, so I can be out.
Right.
No.
I'm immune. You know.
Right.
That's
So
what
I've
it's-
kind of held back, but I do have a waiver which will allow me to do those tests. I ordered some, but I've just kind of held back, waiting for more data to be there.
Yeah. Oh, just for clarification's sake, because I know a couple people who had COVID, and they told me once they came out of the hospital, and it was like dire situations. They said that now they walk around with no mask. That scares me,
Right.
personally. But they said the doctors told them that they can no longer catch it or get I'm sorry, what's the word? They can no longer catch it, but they have no one to take it.
Yeah, and that's normal.
That's confusing.
And
Right.
so that's normal immunity. That's normal, like that active immunity. You get an infection, and then you get immunity, and you are considered safe. But what they're starting to discover is they're not sure how long that immunity is good for. They're not sure about the neutralizing capabilities of the antibodies in your body. So that's where stuff that we learned that I would normally feel comfortable saying, I'm not so comfortable saying as they just keep finding more and more out about this
I understand.
virus.
Still evolving.
It's so evolving.
And right behind COVID came the murder of George Floyd, and the subsequent riots after that. So how have you coped with that?
Well, initially, we were shocked because we didn't know anything was happening at the time. Sunday morning, we got the calls from the right here. How do we break into the pharmacy? What are we going to do here? We've been here for years. But, some people are desperate. And I think initially you're just upset because of the violation. Somebody banged the lives, delegates, and all that. We were lucky they didn't do a lot of damage. There might be one or two people in terms of what they did, the scale. Some people were like our next door neighbor, the lady's clothing store, they took everything. So she's been in what, years?
Maybe two.
Maybe
Maybe
two
going on
years.
2.
2 years.
1 to 2 years.
And we felt bad for her. We took everything out of the store. But, so besides that initial violation feeling that you get having to repair, is getting everything back to square one and just feeling like is it safe now? When is that going to end? So you can put glass back up. When I understood pulling it up. So that was part of it. So you're in the community kind of feeling like, a little hurtful. You understand the situation, but also how do we repair this so we get back to normal? People can come back in. And that's kind of where we're at the end of that phase now. We're going to have somebody come in and do the glass. But initially it was like, all right, we get the glass done today, it's not going to break it tomorrow because they broke it on Sunday, and 2 weeks when they broke the door.
They broke the door the next day.
Right.
So it's like,
Wow. So we're just kind of stuck in between, when you repair this, and when is the community repair, when things will die down. And things have died down since then. I think we're on our way back to, and people have reached out to us, luckily, to want to help churches, people in the community, people not even from here, from way out. Calls.
Arlington Heights, I got a call from someone.
Right. Not even all black, people of all races calls, hey, we saw you in the news, we felt bad, we saw the article in the paper, what can we do to help? And so we've been a little, I wouldn't say hesitant, we're just not very comfortable taking little GoFundMe page or anything like that. We're just more so, if you want to give something, you can, we're not asking for anything, because we didn't get hurt as bad as some other place, we need more than this. So.
And I know, just one thing I want to add is that the range of emotions have been wide. And I know a lot of people, as we were here even Sunday, just kind of standing out, surveying the damage, waiting 3 hours for the police to come. People are like, wow, why would we do this to a black business? And, that was like, yeah, why would they? But then on our way home, and we started to see the destruction everywhere, my thought process was, why would they do this to any business in the black community? Only because the businesses seem so far and few between. And that's when it just really, when we opened up that Monday and someone came over because the currency exchange was closed. And it's like, how am I going to get my check? And then somebody else came in looking for Oragel. And I don't sell a lot of OTCs because I can't compete with Walgreens and their 10,000 OTCs. But it was that type of hurt that it's like, yeah, what are we going to do? Some of these businesses may choose not to open. I was so upset on Sunday that I'm like, I'm not sure if we're going to stay here because it does feel like the community has turned its back on you. And then even from what people don't know, as far as how difficult it is to get capital, how our own bank wouldn't give us a loan. They gave us a line of credit, but they wouldn't give us a loan. How I can't get into insurance networks. So those are like real issues that a lot of people that aren't business owners don't really feel on a day-to-day basis, but can really affect just your whole mental attitude. And as you're trying to, do your best to serve the community, it's like, well, how is this community helping to serve me without sounding selfish?
Oh, it's fair. It's fair. It's fair. Is there anything that you want to leave off with?
I guess from my perspective, that we've been here for years, in serving the community, and this has been a great relationship. I think the majority of people love what we do, of course, we love service. Just a few people, of course, obviously bad apples and bunch that kind of stuff. But I think going forward with the people that are reaching out, such as organization, people like yourself, churches, the sky is the limit in terms of the leaders pointed out. Everything is going in a positive direction. I think once they get to some of this police reform and other things that they're trying to get done, as people start to figure out how do we go from square one to square two, we'll continue to flourish. And we appreciate what he's done. And I'm just glad my mother was able to still see, she's been here a long time and she's seen kind of the good and the bad, but she's still happy to come here once in a while. Some of our old customers come by and say, hey, we'll see her. So I think we're going to continue to be here. Just a matter of where we'll be at this particular location, but somewhere in the South Shore area. But that's all I was saying.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what he's saying, it is important for us to be here to help ensure the health of the community. Because I do see myself as a valuable resource, and being able to give information, helping people with logistics, even helping to navigate the healthcare system. The healthcare system has become so complicated. A person can lose their insurance like from the blink of an eye. They didn't turn in a check stub, and by the next month the insurance is gone. Now what do? So even being able to just lead people to resources, even when their normal resources may have been shut off.
And she gives that personal touch. That's what people, I guess, cherish. You don't want to feel like a number. Right. You feel like you belong, people know your name, and all that. So that's what you get when you come here.
There you go.
Hey.
Hey, Roscoe, come on in.
I'm sorry.
No. I normally send you the text.
Yeah.
It's actually good TV.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So with that said, that's all we have. That's all the time we have, and I really do appreciate it. I'm grateful for it, and I'm going to do everything in my power. Not only putting this on the Lakeside Alliance website, but also I can put it on my own website. So
we appreciate you at Lakeside Alliance.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, that's it.
It's great.
Hopefully.
No, I'm definitely gonna do it.